Spend 5 to 10 minutes every day, 5 to 10 minutes every day. Take that time for you. That's 1% of your day. 1% of your day. Take 5 to 10 minutes and focus on you. Think about you. Just think about you. What is it you're trying to do for you? Who are you becoming? What is that future self that you are creating, that you are striving for, right? And welcome, guys, to another episode of Energize Your Life After 50. I'm your host, Dr. Del Millers here with PersonalFitness.com. I'm glad that you decide to join me again for another day of conversation. So let's talk. Before I get into it, let me just remind you that there are all kinds of free resources available to you. If you check out the show notes, you'll find that you can sign up for my webinar. It's free. Get your sexy back. And I call it that because that's what women have told me that they want. They want to get their sexy back. So sign up for my webinar. Get your sexy back. We're going to talk about how to lose weight for the last time and create the very best version of yourself. How to create the very best version of yourself. That's what it means to get your sexy back, okay? I also have a series of free videos and ebooks on the top 3 things you must do to lose weight for the last time. So you see all kinds of resources. Get a free copy of my book on Amazon. Check out the show notes. We've got you covered, okay? So welcome. And today what I really want to talk to you about is why you should strive to be 1% better. Right? 1% better, just 1%. You see, here's the problem. A lot of people think that in order to make changes, they have to go big or go home. You have to do big things. And if you can't do big things, you're a failure. If you can't do big things, well, you don't do anything at all. And I see that so often. Even with my clients, I see people sign up for my Weight Loss Made Easy program. Oh, that's what one I forgot to tell you about. You can sign up for my Weight Loss Made Easy group coaching program. Link is in the show notes. But I see people sign up even for my program, and they think that they have to be able to commit to big things in order to get started. They have to be able to do big things in order to get started. And when I talk to them, I've been so busy. The whole excuses. I've been so busy. I've been in and out of town. I've got this going on and that. Well, who cares? That is life. That will always be the case. You'll always have something going on. You'll always be busy. I'm assuming you are a successful person. You'll always be busy. So who cares? Who cares what you've got going on? The only thing I care about, and the only thing you should also care about, is, are you 1% better today than you were yesterday? Because if at the end of the day you can't say that you are 1% better today than you were yesterday, then guess what? You're not making progress. You're not working towards your goals. You're working towards some other goal, but you're not working towards the goals that you say are important to you. If your body is important to you, then why aren't you working on it every day? If your health is important to you, then why aren't you working on it every day? If you are important to yourself, then why aren't you working on yourself every day? Why aren't you putting yourself in your own bloody equation every day? Why is everything else so much more important? You find time to do work. You make time. Well, that's making you money. You make time to take care of the kids. Well, that's another obligation. You make time for your other obligations. Why is it that you are so much less important than all your other obligations? You see, there's the problem. You are not that important. To you, you are just not that important. Really, let's face it. You're not important. You are the least important person in your life. And there goes the problem. It's not that you don't have time. It's that you don't make time. Why? Because you are not that important. So that is something to look at. Why aren't you important? Why isn't it important for you to think about yourself every day? That is the question to ask yourself. When you answer that question, then you will never ever use the excuse again, I don't have time. That is an excuse used by people who just aren't important. They're not important to themselves. What they want isn't important. It isn't important for them to create the best version of themselves because they're not doing that. You will never do that if you use the excuse, I don't have time. So people who use that excuse aren't going anywhere in terms of creating value for themselves, value in themselves, valuing themselves. If you ever use that excuse, you are not that important to yourself. You are not that important in your life. So remember that. That is when you use that excuse, I don't have time. You would never use that excuse when it comes to an important project that is important to your bottom line, to make you money. Well, why is money any more important than you? You see, here's a secret, folks. The more you invest in yourself, the more you have to offer. The more you invest in yourself, the more you have to offer. So potentially, the more money you get to make, the better the family gets because you have to offer more. You have more to offer. You show up with more. So there goes the important part of investing in yourself. Now, when I come across clients who think that they have to do big things, I encourage them, as I will encourage you now. Focus on becoming 1% better. Focus on 1% better. Every day, just focus on 1% better. There are 1,440 minutes in the day. 1% of that is about 14.4 minutes. So about 15 minutes. All I'm asking you to do is spend 5 to 10 minutes every day, 5 to 10 minutes every day. Take that time for you. That's 1% of your day. 1% of your day. Take 5 to 10 minutes and focus on you. Think about you. Just think about you. What is it you're trying to do for you? Who are you becoming? What is that future self that you are creating, that you are striving for, right? And just think, what can I do today to be 1% better? How can I be 1% better? Well, here are some ideas. How could you be 1% better? Well, what is it you can do? Well, let's focus on what one small change can you make today that will take you closer to that future self. That assumes that you know what that future self is that you're creating. Who is it that you're becoming? Because if you don't know that, then obviously taking 1%, striving for 1% towards that means nothing because you don't know where you're going. You don't know who you're creating. So we need to start with, well, who is that future self you're creating? And why is it important to you? That's where I have my clients start. Who are you becoming and why? Why is that important to you? Why is it important for you to become this person? What is it going to give you that you don't have now? Who are you going to be who you're not being now? How are you going to think that you're not thinking now? What are you going to do that you're not doing now? How are you going to take care of yourself then when you become that person that you're not doing now? And you see, by starting at the end, who you're becoming, now you know exactly what you need to do. You can take one step closer towards that person. Well, if your future self is 100 pounds lighter, okay, we won't go that far. If your future self is 30, 50 pounds lighter, well, obviously they've done something that you're not doing now because you are where you are and they are where they are. So what one step can you take to get closer to that future self? Well, maybe you can add something green to your plate today. Well, maybe you can leave off the fries and add a salad today. Well, maybe you can drink an extra glass of water today. Well, maybe you can stand up for 10 minutes more today than you sit. Maybe you can walk for 10 minutes more today than you sit. you see where I'm going with this? 10%, 1% better. 1% better, striving for 1% better. That's what it means. So you take small step. You take one step at a time. But first you have to know where you're going. Where are you going? Who are you becoming? And why is all that important to you? And then each day, allow yourself, schedule it, make yourself take 5 to 10 minutes every day just for you, to think about you, what you're doing and where you're going. Think about you. Schedule the time. Schedule 5 to 10 minutes on your calendar every day just to think about you, so that you can think about, maybe first thing in the morning, you take that first 5-10 minutes. How can I be 1% better today? What can I do today to be 1% better? Or maybe at night, what can I do tomorrow to be 1% better? Right? Take that 5 to 10%. Take that 5 to 10 minutes to think about you, to value you. Because if you've got an important project at work, you're thinking about it constantly, right? If you need to do things to affect your bottom line, you're thinking about it. So if you are going to get better, if you are going to become the person you dream of, if you're going to become that person you can fall in love with, that future self you can fall in love with, then you need to take steps every day. Otherwise, you will become like the dozens and dozens of women I have spoken with, let's say at the beginning of the year, right? I do these free health strategy calls. By the way, you can find out information about that in the show notes here, right? A free health strategy call. I get on the phone with you and we talk about, well, how do you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to go? So we talk about, well, what's standing in your way? You know, what's preventing you from being there? If there was nothing preventing you from being there, well, you would be there already, assuming you know where there is. Where are you going? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to accomplish? Who are you becoming? Assuming you know that, then how do you bridge the gap between where you are and getting there? Because there's something standing in your way. That's why you're not there yet, right? I'm not a millionaire yet because there's something standing in my way. I'm trying to bridge that gap between where I am now and the life of a millionaire, right? So I'm not there yet. There's something standing in my way. There's something I don't understand. There's an invisible barrier that is preventing me from just stepping over that bridge. So what's preventing you from stepping over that bridge? That's what we talk about. And you know something? The sad thing is, the majority of people I have spoken with at the beginning of the year, 6-9 months later, they haven't done a damn thing to move forward. They haven't taken the next step. They have derailed themselves. They have allowed life to derail them. The people I have spoken with who have not gone forward with me, you know, after I talk to people, I invite some of them to be on my coaching program, Weight Loss Made Easy. And I got to tell you, those who join are making great progress. Those who haven't joined, I can tell you, maybe one out of 20, right? Only one out of 20. Maybe it might be even 30. 1 out of 30 people have done a single thing to move forward with the emotional plea they were making. I'm talking about emotional plea, that it was so important for them to change up their lives and to put themselves in their own bloody equation and to start working on creating their best selves and to deal with all the emotional baggage that they've been carrying around for so long and to make that breakthrough. It was so emotional and so deep for them and so cathartic for them. Yet 6 months later, only about 1 out of 30 have taken the next step to doing one simple thing, just doing one simple thing. So many people I talk to, oh, I've been so busy doing this and I'm in and out of town and, I've got this going on and, I've got this family member who's sick and I've got blah, 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 blah. Who cares? That is life. And that will always be life. That will always happen. It's happened to you 10 years ago. It's happening to you now. It will happen to you 10 years from now because that is life. Those are circumstances. And circumstances, successful people don't allow circumstances to dictate what they do. They deal with the circumstances. They get around the circumstances. And the way you do that, folks, I'm telling you, the way you do that is by thinking small. You think small. Right? You focus on 1%. What can I do today to be 1% better? What one small thing can I do today? That is going to take me closer to that future self I'm creating. What one small thing? So if you do nothing today, here's your assignment. Tonight, I want you to ask yourself, am I 1% better today than I was yesterday? If the answer is no, then ask yourself why. In the morning, I want you to set a goal to be 1% better today than you were yesterday and figure out what does that 1% mean to you? What's the one step you're going to take today? What is the one small thing? Maybe it's, drinking an extra glass of water or setting a timer to take a sip of water every hour or setting a timer to stand up every hour or just changing one thing about what you eat. Having a salad instead of the fries. Maybe adding some vegetables to one of your meals when you usually don't. Maybe switching from the fried chicken to some roast chicken. Whatever it is. But one small thing, that's all you need to focus on. Just focus on one small thing today. And then tomorrow, you do the same thing. Every day you ask yourself, how can I be 1% better? What is that one thing I'm going to do? What is that one step? And the beautiful thing is, folks, it becomes a habit. And guess what? Habits are either taking us closer to our goals or they're not. But if you're taking that one step every day, at the end of a week, that's 7 steps. At the end of a month, 30 steps. End of a year, 365 steps. Well, whoa, imagine climbing a building that is 365 steps. You are way up there, my friends. You have made significant progress. We call that transformation. That's how transformation takes place, folks. One step at a time. So don't think about the transformation. Think about the first step you need to take. And then the second step. I call that being 1% better. Striving to be 1% better today than you were yesterday. That's all I've got for you. I hope this has been helpful. Again, your assignment is to identify one thing you can do today to make you better than you were yesterday. That's taking you closer to your goals, taking you closer to being that person that you want to be, that person of your dream that has the health, that has the body, that has the fitness, that has the energy, that has the enthusiasm, that has the life that you want to live. That is the person whom you strive to be, whom you crave to be. Okay? So ask yourself that. How can I be 1% better today than I were yesterday? I'm Dr. Del Millers, and as usual, as I like to say, may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Again, check out the show notes and check out all the free resources. Come join me on the webinar, Get Your Sexy Back. Sign up for a free health strategy call. We'll figure out what's standing in your way and all the other wonderful goodies I've got for you. I'll catch you next time. Take care.